Been talking about it all morning long, all week long, and it's happening more and more frequently on the TTC, on buses, platforms, trains, streetcars. A recent string of violent attacks has both employees and commuters concerned over their safety on the city's public transit system. So joining us live now to discuss the matter further is TTC CEO Rick Leary. Rick, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good morning.
We'll start off with, what do you think is behind this, what appears to be a rise in frequency and rise of severity when it comes to these attacks and violent incidents on the TTC?
Well, I think that's the question that we all have. What's happening? What's changed? This is a real challenge for the society in general. The assaults that are occurring, the homeless challenges or the underhoused challenges that we have in the TTC. That's the significance of us getting together and having the discussions about what we can do to address these challenges. I would like to say, if I could, just my heart and my thoughts go out to that young lady yesterday on the streetcar. That breaks all of our hearts. So I hope her and her friends, are doing well.
Yeah, and you talked about getting together with different stakeholders to have talks to try to figure out what to do in this situation. But have talks been ongoing for quite some time? Because it was earlier in 2022 that we had the first death on the TTC, of course, on that bus platform, and then a recent death in the fall as well. So these talks have been ongoing, but what, if any, has any concrete information or action been brought to light?
Well, absolutely. We have had discussions for a while, and what we looked at to do is see what we can do to take immediate action and then longer term action. As of late, you're very aware, like most likely, that we've been working with Streets to Homes through the pandemic to help us address the underhoused issue that's been occurring on the TTC. More recently, when it comes to the attacks that have been happening, a lot more TTC employees for visibility, what our customers want and expect of us. Supervisors, special constables, our managers, our assistant managers, fare inspectors, being out, being visible, so that give the customer the sense of comfort, someone there to answer information, questions, but it's that's a security, someone to talk to or report something due. Longer term, that's the key here. The longer term, being at the table with the mayor's office, the city, the police, our union partners, talking about the need for investment in mental health. I think we all realize that challenge that's there. And something's different, right? We're a transit system, and we're reaching out to our partners to help us address what's needed. And it's going to take that investment to help those that, have mental health challenges.
And you had the employees becoming more visible, but the employees are also becoming targets now. We look back to the BB gun incident on Saturday, as well as the swarming of 2 employees on Monday. The union saying that this is a crisis that needs to be dealt with. What's being done for employees specifically who have to be out there and are visible, and some being targets?
Yes, no, and we're working with them. We work with the union. They're at the table, as I said, and the request for additional assistance in stations, whether it's the police or special constables, they acknowledge the visibility is important. Just the other day, I was advised that a police officer got on a bus with the operator, rode a couple of stops and got off. That presence, right, gives comfort to the frontline employees. We're all nervous. It's a challenge for us.
It is. It is a challenge, definitely, that we're seeing, of course, play out after the pandemic as well. The mayor was on BT last week and mentioned having more mental health professionals who potentially would be out in the system itself, just to be there and be aware of any incidents that may be playing out. Is that something that you're on board with?
Yes, no, absolutely. There's no doubt. When I sit at the table with the city and we have those discussions, the need for more mental health work is definitely a path forward. We see it, what's happening in the stations, and that the investment has to be there.
And have you seen this before? I know that you've been CEO of the commission for quite some time now, but have you witnessed this before, and have the people who've been there before you as well? Are you hearing that this is the first time that we're seeing such a mental health crisis or a violence crisis on the system?
Well, I think we saw through the pandemic is it became more apparent of the underhoused being in our stations. The first time that Streets to Homes ever jointly worked with the TTC to be with our special constables and our frontline employees, helping those. There's a sense of compassion here, right? That we want to help those. When you look around North America, many major transit systems are having very similar issues today. Many of us, it's not just unique to the city of Toronto or the TTC.
Right. And lastly, we know that the TTC has been trying to get back to pre-pandemic passenger levels. There's an ad campaign that's out there trying to get people back on the system. You're currently only at 70%. How do you feel about that ad campaign now continuing and that lure trying to get more people on amid all of the violence that's been happening?
Well, we recognize that that is our main mission, right? We're a public transit system. That those ads were been in the works now for months. And so ultimately we want to get people back. And so when you hear from the public about the need for comfort and safety and more visibility, we want to parallel those together because that is our mission to get people back on the TTC, get this city moving again.
All right. Rick Leary, the CEO of the TTC, thank you so much for making time and joining us this morning.
And thank you very much for having me. If I could, I'd like to just say I'd like people to understand how hard our individuals, our employees work. And if they just say thank you, whether it's in a station or on a bus, say thank you to the employees. Give them the sense that you care and comfort as well. So thank you very much.
That can also go a very long way. All right. Thank you so much, Rick. Appreciate it.